Gods! Welcome to another episode of Crystal Them's, a Steven Universe rewatch podcast. I'm Liz, and with me, as always, is Sid.
Hello, I'm Sid.
Today, we are meeting one of the greatest side characters, like side characters of this entire show. Because today, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 10, Steven's Lion.
Woo, that's right. We get to meet Lion for the first time. I'm so
We get to
excited.
meet Lion. I love Lion.
He's so cute. He's one of the best characters in
One
this
of the, I
series.
wish I wish I had a stuffed lion. Maybe I'll work on getting a stuffed pink lion.
Yes, you know what? That next company purchase, tax write-off. We need a
Giant
stuffed
stuffed pink
lion.
lion.
Yes, it's
100%.
for our socials, so
Yeah,
taxes don't come for me.
because then we could just take pink lion around for us for advertising.
Mhm. That
Buddy.
government don't listen. We're doing tax evasion.
No, we're not. Shh. No one said anything about taxes. For those who need a synopsis, in this episode, Steven travels to the desert with the gems and meets a pink lion. After Lion follows the gems back to Beach City, Steven does everything he can to befriend this new furry friend. That's as best as I could boil this plot down.
This episode aired January 27th, 2014, so over a decade ago. It is number 12 in the production code, despite airing as the 10th episode. It was written by Lamar Abrams and storyboarded by Alith Romanillos. This episode had 1.512 million US viewers upon air. Also, quick fun fact, Lamar Abrams is the voice of Buck Dewey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is the voice of Buck Dewey, and a couple of other like small one-episode characters, but mainly just voices Buck.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I know, and I'm like, hey, you're hanging out here. I think this is also the first episode written by Lamar, so before Buck gets a solid role, he's also here to write.
I love that.
Yeah, he voices Buck Dewey, Suitcase Sam, Garbanzo, and Y6.
That's fantastic. I really do love that. That's cool. I love that they're not just voice actors, they're also writing and directing and storyboarding and all that jazz. That's really, really cool. I like that. I appreciate that. That's a good I appreciate that fact.
It is. It's a very fun fact for a very fun episode. This is also, for timeline-wise, the first hiatus we get. So after this episode, Steven Universe goes on a 3-week hiatus for the very first time, which we soon begin hiatus hell and the Steven bombs that will start coming up soon.
Yeah, we have some hardcore episodes coming up.
We do.
They're coming for us.
They're coming. But this is the first time we get those, large breaks in between episodes.
See, I wasn't here. I wasn't around in the fandom for that.
Oh god, they were the hiatuses, and then followed by a quick Steven bomb, and then another hiatus of just, hey, there's nothing for a couple of weeks. Here's 3 episodes and nothing. So it's the beginning of that time.
Oof, that's terrible.
The nightmares, the discourse, the discussion boards. Tumblr was a mess.
That's terrible. I can only imagine.
People were wiling out. People were getting crazy, screaming at the company, at Cartoon Network, saying, why are you doing this to us? So that was fun at the time. And now I can just sort of watch them all back to back and not have to worry about waiting a month or 2 or 3 in between episodes, only for an Uncle Grandpa episode.
I never knew that because I watched this all. I mean, I think the longest I had to wait was between, I think, because Hulu had up to season 3, and then it wasn't for, I had to wait a couple of months before I got access to HBO Max, who had all of them. And then I was able to watch all of it because I forgot what it was on. Yeah, but it was, you had to pay for whatever it was on, and I was poor and out of college, and, that wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, I think the longest hiatus, what was it, was between Lars's head and Dewey Wins for 164 days.
164 days.
But yep, the standard hiatus
Holy
length.
moly.
We had, 99 days for the first hiatus between Rose's Room and Coach Steven. That was, I think, when we realized there will be real hiatuses. But there were others like, 81 days, 57, just a quick 20-day one, things like that, where we were just sitting in the dark waiting for more episodes.
Wow.
It was a doozy.
That's crazy.
Yep. So no longer having to experience that is beautiful, of just not having to wait in between days where, and also there were days where there's a hiatus and you know nothing about what's happening. Like the 99 days hiatus, we didn't get an answer until 72 days into the hiatus of, so when is there going to be another one? Took 72 days for any kind of announcement on that.
Oof. I mean, I guess I'm used to that. I'm a Winona Earp fan. I had like there's been 4 years since the end of the last season, and we just found out that we're getting not just found out, but that we're getting like a TV movie, and so I understand. I understand having to wait.
Yeah, that's
There was
also a
also like
while.
a year and a chunk between season 3 and 4 because it was like we're gonna get it, and then it got canceled, and then it was coming back, and then the pandemic hit, and I'm used to this. This is that sounds I've experienced that still.
Oh, that's awful. No, that was the first time for me, and I've seen that with old like adult shows, but never for a children's show. Of just there's no information on if more is happening or if we're going to be releasing episodes or how the animation is going. Nothing. We will tell you nothing. Like kid shows are at least pretty consistent in how they'll market them and how many episodes are coming out. No
Mhm.
information. Also, that was very much the first time where I'd experienced that level of hiatus of like maybe there's more episodes. Is the show canceled? Who knows? They just haven't made episodes or released them, but they're still using reruns, and no one's at Cartoon Network is saying anything. So I don't know what's happening. I'm 14 and I'm scared.
14 and I'm scared. You're a wee Wayne.
It
Well, should
was
we not have any more of a hiatus and get into this episode?
correct.
Ooh, I
So
like that segue right there. That was good.
it was a good one.
I try. So we start off in this episode of these like sandy columns and one just collapsing down
Mhm.
and Steven crawling, being like, water, which is such a kid thing of being like, I saw a desert in a movie once.
Exactly. I also think, genuinely speaking, Steven, they should have some water for this boy. He's sweating a little too much. Get him maybe like a quick bottle of water just to be safe.
He is very, very soggy. He should probably have some type of hydration with him. Yes.
Exactly. I know the gems can't feel temperature, but Steven is half human and definitely can. Keep
I
him
mean,
hydrated. Get him
Garnet
some
refers
better
to him as
clothes.
the wet one here in a moment.
Exactly. He is, if nothing else, physically sweating.
Yeah. Yeah, but Pearl does the mom thing of like, if you get up and walk, it's a lot easier. And Steven like, no,
I have to crawl across the desert and get sand in my mouth and all over the front of my shirt.
because this is what you do when you're in the desert.
It is. It's exactly what you do is crawl on the hot, hot sand and put your whole body on it, as much of it as you can, and burn all of you. That's the correct way to deal with the desert,
Copy.
obviously.
I don't understand.
Yes, that's the correct way. All of my skin should be touching this boiling hot sand. That is what should be happening.
Yeah. So they realize that there is a temple and things are being built apparently and collapsing, and the thing that they're looking for is out of control. And we get our first pun of the episode of I guess we should roll on into it.
Yeah. Amethyst sort of leaps over Steven and then rolls down the hill uh, to say we should roll all in on into it. Also, I Amethyst kind of speaks gibberish and goes nanny nanny nanny. I'm 100% certain that's not gibberish, not an alien language, and just out loud cursed. It's like I'm not allowed to curse in English in front of Steven, so
I'm going to insult you.
insult you, but in a different alien language that Steven doesn't understand.
Yeah. And Pearl's just gonna like take that. Boom. I love it. That's because Pearl's, excuse me, until they hear a roar. And everyone else is like, let's go. I feel like we have another like low key Garnet vision kind of playing in here of Garnet being like, oh, nothing here. Because technically nothing in the sand is going to hurt him.
Yeah. Technically speaking, nothing. Although my immediate thought is, what? Don't leave him alone. I know Garnet knows better. Pearl, don't. You should be freaking out. Don't leave this boy alone in the desert.
I mean, that shows how much power Garnet has. If Garnet's like, "He's fine, let's go," everyone else is like, "Okay."
All right. Guard said you're fine, so you're fine.
Yeah, and be like, "Hey, nothing out here, it's best if you stay out here because then if you didn't, we wouldn't get Lion." And be like, "Nothing's gonna hurt you, so stay. Don't worry, wet one."
Exactly. Wet one. Also, Garnet being like a little disgusted by sweat is hilarious to me.
Oh, I love it. Big
Just
stoic Garnet being like, "Ew,
human body functions, a little disgusting.
a little gross." So Steven sits once again in the hot sand against a hot sand pillar,
Exactly.
but does the thing. So I don't know. I don't think this was so popular when you were growing up. When I was growing up, it's very popular that like if it was really hot out, especially the guys would like take their shirts and lift it to where like they take their head out of the head hole and like put the shirt behind their head so it kind of just like framed their armpits, but like their chest would be bare. That was, I mean, guys, I remember guys doing that when I was growing up.
See, I never got that. I just got the guys taking their shirt off, and I go, all right. Unfair that I
Yeah,
can't, but sure.
fair. Yeah, you're right. I was always real mad growing up. But no, like that, I was kind of getting that sense of being like, I mean, I've done that at camp when I worked at camp. Of I like, would I have like an undershirt on or like a tank top and be like, it's too hot, just like lift my shirt up and just put it on my head to keep the sun out of my face.
Oh,
So I
that's
respect
fair.
that Steven move. I respect that Steven move a lot.
It is. Just keep yourself from overheating. That's the main goal.
I mean, it didn't help. It made it hotter because then you're covering your face with fabric that was also hotting. So you're pretty much just sweatboxing yourself. It's fine.
That's true.
We have Steven being like, I am the wet one. I'm fine. And he looks around and then sees the glowing eyes of something. I wouldn't know what that's like at all, looking in the dark and seeing glowing eyes. I say that as I
Exactly.
pet one of my cats behind me, and the other one is now moving. Yeah, gentle Claudes, I have cats that circle me every time we record and demand attention often.
They need to know they're loved.
So Steven goes and hide, which is a very fair thing to do. I would also hide if I saw the glowing eyes of something in the desert.
Same here. I would disappear immediately. Also, did they? Because they had to have warped here. Where is the warp pad? Did they warp and then have to walk through the desert? That seems so tiring.
I think they had to walk a little bit because I think it's surrounded by some of the columns.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense.
So it's probably like, in the desert, it's a long time, but like in reality, it's not.
Mhm.
But maybe that's also why Garnet didn't want Steven walking, other than the future vision, is that it's a longer walk in the desert than maybe Steven could have handled.
True. I do think he would have gotten tired, like a little too tired. He's a
Yeah,
little
Garnet would
boy.
have had to carry him.
Yeah.
So Steven hides behind a column, and then we see the shadow get closer, and get the good thing this column was here,
It
which
immediately collapses.
immediately collapses like all tropes.
Yeah.
You mentioned something, and then it's gone, and then we see this giant pink glowing face of a lion.
Yeah. A
Uh,
wall sort of pops up behind Steven, trapping him in front of Lion.
and Lion just stands there and then does a very, very, I mean, this lion, I forgot how cat lion is,
Big cats are
just
still
right off the
cats.
bat. Like, just big kitty.
Yep. I mean, even real life big cats, still cats.
Oh, they're
Ever.
still cats. They still love boxes and
Yeah, boxes and being the laziest creature you've ever seen who will be laying down and not moving a single bone, and then they hear food in the distance and sprint.
shoot up
And you're like, yep, that's a cat, all right.
100%. Because lion plops down and Steven's very, very cautiously gets closer and just kind of starts poking him, and moves away and is like, "Don't bite," which so cute.
Correct. Yeah. I do also love that the moment Steven realizes Lion's not gonna hurt him, immediately goes into baby voice for a cat. Going, oh, hello, you just wanted attention. And just petting him and doing little baby voice and hugging him, which is correct.
Also, just climbing all over him.
Yep. This is child behavior with any animal where you're like, hey, kiddo, stop climbing on the dog. And you're just like, all right, well, you're lucky the dog
Yeah,
understands that you're a child. Otherwise, it would be upset about this.
be so sad, but, you just do the big baby voice, of just, "Oh, it's a lion. Oh, you just want attention."
Yeah, which correct. I would be here in the exact same boat of going, I gotta hug you a little bit. I gotta touch your fur.
I do it every time.
Big
Every
baby.
time. It's big baby. I
Also,
mean,
I
mine
need a real life pink lion as my cuddle bug, cuddle friend.
yes, please.
Please. Just a huge chunky lion with a luxurious mane. Just lay
So good,
with
but
it.
Lion is doing also the cat thing of just openly ignoring Steven.
I
Steven's
know.
climbing all over this thing, and it's just cleaning himself and not looking at Steven, and Steven's, like, talking like, "Oh, do you live around here? I am here on business."
See, and
Uh,
lion not paying attention, which peak
nope.
cat behavior.
And until we get the, "You're like the cotton candy of the jungle."
Yes. Which
Fantastic.
amazing. I do just love that Steven is being affected by the cat distribution system. Just being
Mhm.
gifted the cat. His
This
mom's
is
cat, but a cat nonetheless.
this is how it works. You literally living your life, and all of a sudden a cat is there, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm taking you home."
Yeah. Spoilers also for what happens later and information about Lion we don't get in this episode. I just
And we're a
spoiled.
spoiler-filled podcast.
It's true.
I mean, we can use that as a cool segue of, as you said, it's Rose's lion.
Hmm.
This really points towards my running theory that Rose Quartz is based on a Sumerian goddess by the name of Ishtar, because Ishtar is often depicted in Mesopotamian art as either with 2 lions or, like, standing on a lion, uh,
Yes.
almost always with a lion,
Hmm.
which
And we
she
do
is a lion.
later in the series we do see Rose with living lions with not pink ones but just regular lions. And I'm wondering if in this world Rose Quartz is the inspiration for Ishtar. Just given
It
that the
could be.
gems influence all culture, I'm just like, well, we keep seeing this woman in the desert with multiple
Yeah,
lions.
I mean, especially the fact that lion is in the desert, which Mesopotamia and, Sumar, which is the country, the southern part of Mesopotamia where you get the Sumerian culture, uh, is a desert area because Mesopotamia is what is now, like, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, uh, that kind of area. So
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense.
it would. Also, where is this desert located? I know they have a location. It's in the Saharan. Okay, so it's
Oh,
in
so there you
Africa.
go.
Yeah. It's Rose just kind of wanders around later in the series, just in the desert, which makes me
Yeah.
think humans saw her. Also, given that Rose has definitely been here since the dawn of humanity, yeah, I think some of the humans might just start worshiping her a little bit.
Oh, they're all definitely in this world, they're all parts of mythology around the world.
Yeah,
100%.
but I wish we would get more of it later of the way the gems influence history
Right,
because we don't get as much as is available for the fact that gems have been here since the dawn of humanity and are not hiding their presence. And yet people just kind of don't talk about it or don't take magic and magical things seriously, which
right,
hilarious given that hey, these people have been here since the dawn of time. What are you talking about?
right. Yeah, I wish there was an episode that was more I mean, we get a kind of a little bit of one in the episode where it's, like, the history of Beach City, uh, and, like, when we learn about Buddy and
True.
whatnot, but I wish we got more of, like, around the world, not just Beach City specific.
Yeah. Or just casual things mentioned by people of like knowing about gems or just believing that things about gems are true. I think the
Right.
first season sort of was still leaning into that secret identity thing
A
because
little
there's
bit,
so
yeah.
much weird stuff that happens that people don't believe Steven for, which doesn't make sense unless the gems have a secret identity because they've
Right.
been here. so long, and as the later seasons show, have been part of the town and part of people, just interacting with it, that it does not make sense for no one to understand
To
that
know and
gem
not
stuff is
believe.
weird. Yeah,
Yes. Or to not believe Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like, "Stuff keeps happening," and everyone's like, "Whatever," but, like, it does.
it does. You have three magical lesbians from space who are raising a human child and constantly battle monsters.
That's weird.
That's weird. Ronaldo is pointing out things that definitely happen and things that happen on the boardwalk that you all have experienced that is weird. I mean, Frybow, cat fingers. There were where there's like those are terrifying, but even just like the laser light cannon changed the whole sky pink.
Yes.
None of you saw
Yes,
that?
and soon we're gonna get other even crazier things
Also, even ignoring all of those crazy things, there's a giant temple with a carved woman and a
with
house that
multiple
she's
arms.
holding. Yeah. And they all live in it. What are you talking like I can maybe understand you might and also none of the gems look human.
No,
Amethyst is
no.
purple.
Amethyst is purple, garnet is, like, red, red.
Exactly. Pearl is a bird of some kind. Humans don't have those proportions.
No, and no one's like I mean, when Rose Quartz was around, she was literally a giant lady.
Exactly. Also, Pearl is pale white and has maybe from their perspective blue blood given that she blushes blue. Like none of these are humans.
Yeah, no one questions this.
We're still in secret identity territory, except they don't have a secret identity, so people are just treating it like, oh, when I see Spider-Man on the street, that's just a normal guy. You're like, no,
Yeah, yeah. I just it's funny to me.
it's very funny.
What's also funny is that so Steven starts talking about how he wants a pet. I'm just gonna be the master of segues.
Yes,
Steven's talking about how he wants a pet, and he goes from the 2 very wild spectrums of a goldfish to a dinosaur.
hilarious. Also, I mean, lion is a dinosaur, definitely
Lion
very
is a
old.
dinosaur. Very old, but Lion's like, "Shh, no talking."
Yeah, which cat behavior.
Very cat behavior. Or maybe he knew that the temple was gonna explode soon and didn't want Steven to get blown away.
It's true. He does sort of cover Steven up from the upcoming explosion that
Happens because
the gems deal with the problem.
they have the pillow now,
Yeah, well, Amethyst has the pillow.
which no good can come of this.
Truly none. She's, sort of throwing it in the air, bouncing it around, and Pearl is saying, be careful. And I know that they're treating it like Pearl nagging constantly, but genuinely, be careful. We just won this fight. I don't want to do it again.
Yes, and also, we're in the place where it has its power.
Yeah, so if you could pretend to be a little bit more careful and maybe bubble that thing, we'd be set.
That would be great. That would be great. Steven has the very kid idea of, "I wanna show that this giant lion is friendly. Here, put my head in your mouth."
Yeah, which, Steven, don't ever do that with any other animal. You're lucky that lion is smart enough to understand you. Don't ever do that with a lion.
Like, "This will prove that he's nice. Put my head in your mouth."
Exactly. You're gonna get your head chopped off.
But Steven then has to face the reality that he's gonna have to leave Lion behind.
Yeah. The gyms, summon their weapons and immediately are like, whoa, what is that? Steven's like,
Right, they're
nah,
like,
it's cool.
"This is a giant lion, and, I love you." And, of course, Amethyst is like, "Oh, I love you too."
Which, I mean, correct. He's adorable. I would also go, okay, I can't be mad at him. Look at how cute his little face is.
Right, and I think Pearl then realizes that they're gonna take home a lion.
I love the way she immediately sighs and just puts her weapon away and is like, okay, we gotta go. We have to
She's
stop
like,
what we're doing.
"This thing's gonna come home with us if I don't act fast enough, we're gonna go home with a lion, so let's go."
Yep, very much my kid found like a rat in an alleyway and we gotta get out of here quickly before this becomes a pet.
But we get like the, "Shh, it's already hard enough
Exactly. I don't want to leave you just yet.
to go."
Yeah, which Lion just sort of sits there and watches them leave, which is only sadder.
Only sadder that he just sits there and watch, and Amethyst is like, "I know what to do with this, I'm not gonna bubble it, I'm going to."
Pillow
Put it
fort.
on top of pillow fort. Put it on top of pillow fort, which I think Amethyst did this because Steven was sad. So Amethyst is like, "Let's build a pillow fort," which is very sweet.
But also, please bubble it. You should
Please
just
bubble it.
bubble it. It would be so much easier if you just bubbled it. You have other pillows. There's actually another pillow sitting on the couch that you could take, as opposed to this one that definitely should be bubbled.
You know for facts, Steven was like, "Amethyst, we need to put this away." And Amethyst is like, "No, no, no. It's really far away from the sand. It's fine."
It's I feel like Amethyst said it's not at the desert anymore, so it's okay. And Steven believed her because yeah, it's a desert glass gem, so it controls sand. But you live on the beach where there is still sand.
So much sand.
You have to just bubble it. It would be so much easier.
It's really far away from the beach, though. It's on top of a pillow fort, Squid. It's fine.
Exact. You know what? That's right. It's on top of a pillow fort, so the beach can't get to it.
It could not be in a safer spot.
Couldn't be any safer than a couple feet away from the beach and sand.
So they're sleeping in their beach fort, and then Steven hears a scratching sound, says, "What's that?" And Amethyst is like, "The only thing I hear is you talking." Steven points out the very obvious thing is like, "I thought you guys didn't have to sleep." And Amethyst points out the very, very obvious thing is that sleeping feels good, which it does.
It does. It feels so good. Everyone should take naps. It's great for your mental health and physical health, and also just feels good.
I also wish I could sleep more
Sleep is good for you.
all the time. And so Steven gets up and starts muttering about it's probably some kid trying to sell me lava insurance.
Yep, I heard that. I was like, Steven, what are people coming to the door to sell you? What are they
Oh,
trying to sell you?
I fully believe that Onion has come to the door and
No.
sold, not tried to sell, has actively sold Steven lava insurance.
Yeah, that tracks. I mean, of the people who would definitely need lava insurance, Steven is maybe someone who would encounter that, so fair.
Oh, yes, but I definitely think it was Onion doing it to get money to do something shady,
Yeah, which is just being onion.
which is just being Onion and existing in the world.
Yeah.
But I that is truly what I believe it is that Onion sold him lava insurance, and then he was telling his dad about it, and his dad was like, "Oh, bud. Oh, stew ball. That is
You
not
know,
something you need."
you don't need lava insurance. To which Steven goes, but we just went on an adventure and there was a volcano and we need insurance for it. And I go, I mean, okay, that does make sense. That part does track.
Fair, but not here.
But not here. You should lava in the house is the least of your concerns. The insurance claim won't matter. There's lava inside.
Won't matter. Also, don't buy insurance from Onion.
Also, same note. The premiums must be so high.
Onion would have the highest premiums. So Steven goes to the door and opens it, and who's there, Squid?
And the sweetest boy, just
The
hanging out.
sweetest boy is right there waiting for him.
Came over and is scratching at the door.
And Steven is so excited that his buddy Lion has appeared, has come for him.
Yes, he's like, oh, you came here for little old me. Also, I paused it at just the right time. I forgot Lion has pink little toe beans too.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I just paused it when Lion's trying to step inside the house and his feet are lifted. He has little pink toe
Oh,
beans
I see
and little
it.
pads.
I'm not saying
I
I just actively paused really fast every couple of frames to see his toe beans, but he does.
He does. He has cute little pink toe beans on his pink body. It's the cutest thing in the world.
That's too cute. I love this cat more and more. So Steven wants to do what all first-time cat owners want to do, which is I'm going to play with my new cat. And the cat's
Yes.
like, "No, I'm gonna ignore you."
Yeah. Steven tries to trust fall, which you can't trust fall with a cat. No matter how much they love you, they would immediately let you fall because it's a little bit funny.
Yes, yes, they would.
Every cat loves you dearly and is also fully willing to trip you down a staircase.
I'm not saying I was bored one day and tried the whole "what would my cat do if they thought I was dead" thing, and my cat literally just laid on top of me,
Yep, you're dead. I guess this is my new bed now.
curled up on top of me, and I was like, "Well, this is no hope."
At least he's close. At least he wanted to be close to you.
At least he's close. Yeah. And I was like, "Well, thanks, bud."
Thank you. Also, Steven, that's so dangerous. You should not try and fall off a cliff just for the cat to catch you.
Oh my don't fall off a cliff!
Like, I get it, you're a little bit safe. It's not that big of a cliff, but also it's a little too big of a cliff, and that cat cannot catch you.
And Lion does not care. Lion is
Yeah.
unaffected. Even when Steven actually does fall down the cliff, Lion's like, "I'm gonna be over here."
Yeah, actually walked away from Steven.
Away from where Steven fell. Yep.
Yeah, just walked off.
Then
And
Steven
then,
tries catching.
yeah, he tries to play fetch, which, Steven, you're thinking of a dog, not a cat.
Yep.
Lion is not. Cats are too lazy to do this.
Yep. And then Steven's like, you just have put. I'm impressed. Steven throws the ball up and catches it in his mouth. That's some hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, he did a really good throw to Lion too. He's throwing stuff. Got a good arm.
Yeah, he's got a good arm. So then, he does the other thing, which is pizza. Cats love fish. Everyone loves pizza. Fish stew pizza, which is our first time we've seen it. This is our first time going into fish stew pizza.
Which, fish on pizza, mm,
No,
the taste can't be that
no.
great. I mean, sardines maybe, but not like a whole fish, which I think is what
No.
they're doing.
Yeah, I love the logo though, because it looks like a pizza shark.
It does. Also, I love that Steven says this place is poppin'. Like there are a lot of people in there. This place is
And it's
jumping.
two people.
It's two, and I go, okay. Yeah, I get. I mean, I assume they don't get many visitors because who wants fish and pizza?
Apparently they do well enough
Yeah, I mean, I think
because
Ronaldo just wants to not be at home.
he doesn't want to be in the fry shop. That is very fair. But yeah, it is this place is popping. And we
Poppin'.
have Ronaldo Onion. This is the first time we've met Kofi Pizza.
Yeah, and Kiki.
W- Well, we've seen Kiki, but this is, I think, the first time we're meeting her
It's true. It's the first time we
because
meet
I
her.
believe she was in Frybo.
You're right.
Because you see her in Frybo. This is the first time we're talking to her
That's right. When is the first?
because she's running away in Frybo. But this is the first time that she has like lines and stuff.
Yeah, this is the first time we actually, hear from her. Also, I love that Fish Stew Pizza has the like Pizza Hut glass lamps.
Yes,
Oh, and I'm like, those are the best lighting ever. It's just those glass sort of lamps that
hundred
set the
percent.
mood, and just a wall full of pictures. And I go, this is a pizzeria. This is a
The
family-owned pizzeria.
the wall full of pictures. Half of them are landscapes.
Yeah.
The, like, Pizza Hut lamps, they have you can see on the, table, they have the, like, odd-shaped Parmesan shakers.
Oh yeah, the like little orb ones.
Yeah,
Love it.
so good. So yes, Ronaldo and Onion are sitting there and kind of ignore Steven when he's like, "Hey, guys, I just need a pizza. I need" Kofi's like, "I'm over this."
Solid to coffee. I think they do more deliveries than they do, Steinen.
I
Because he
think
has
so.
like three pizzas, and I'm assuming, given how small the restaurant is, people aren't coming in to eat the pizza, but they are still ordering it.
Mhm. I fully agree too. So Steven orders a large pizza, extra fish, and Kiki's like, "Oh, you're really hungry?" And he's like, "No, I'm eating for 2." And Ronaldo's immediate response
Steven's
is that
pregnant.
Steven's pregnant?
He spits out his soda on his laptop, which, oof, your laptop.
Oof, that's how my other one died.
Yeah. But also screams Steven's pregnant, which is crazy to jump to.
That's your first thought is that this young boy is pregnant. I know he's weird. I know he's with magic gyms and stuff, but like
Is he? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did say he's eating for two.
I would say amethyst. My immediate thought would be like amethyst
Yeah. And
because she has shown that she eats.
that's true. But also, is
She
he like
doesn't need
weird?
to.
Is he weird magic pregnant in the way that like every kids cartoon will have one episode where there's some kind of parasite in them, and it's like,
That's
well,
fair.
I gotta
You're
deal with
pregnant.
this. So I'm eating. It's like this is a weird pregnancy allegory for this child who has a parasite, quite literally.
That's a good point, though. I will give you that.
So Ronaldo, what a wild leap to make.
What a wild leap to make. And Steven's like, I don't think so. I have a lion. Like he's not like absolutely not. He just goes, I don't think so.
I don't think Steven knows how pregnancy works yet.
Oh, definitely not. We get it. We get another good pun of "You're not lying, are ya?" from Kiki.
I love Kiki. She's just hanging out. Listen, she's just here to be the in-store cashier for a store that has two people in it. She is bored.
She's so bored. We this is the first time I believe we're hearing about. Is this the first time we no, he mentions it in Frybo Ronaldo's key picture. This is the first time we see it, and it's definitely. I'm pretty sure it's Steven. I paused it on what the screen says,
Oh
and it
yeah.
says Steven fingers what?
Yeah, it is the picture he took from cat
Cat
fingers.
fingers. That's what I thought, and then the wonderful Steven Wiki confirmed it for me. But I
Yes.
love that's the home screen right now is Steven. I feel like most of it is just Steven.
Yes. Also, I love that it is that Ronaldo uses Tumblr. That's where he is because he definitely gives off the vibes of someone who uses Tumblr.
Oh,
Someone who also
yes.
uses Tumblr. Yes, this is the correct website for you.
I mean, he's wearing a fedora. Yes, he's in fact using Tumblr.
He is. And I know the comments are filled with people just going fully 100% as a joke, treating this seriously, going, "Yep, boy with cat fingers. Thank you. Good picture. Here is a picture of me with my dog fingers."
Yeah, and it's terribly photoshopped.
Terribly photoshopped. If nothing else, Tumblr plays with pictures like dolls. Just going, "Here's my Photoshop picture. It's like a doll. I've made these two pictures move."
I made him go together.
Yes.
Boom. So everyone runs out because Steven says he has a lion.
Yeah. Steven says he has a lion. He's like, "You guys should come outside and see it for yourself," which he did the, incredible mistake of leaving a cat alone.
Should never leave a cat alone.
Yeah,
I've,
so
I've already taken my headset off twice because my cat was crying and being like, is this a bad cry or is this an attention cry? It was an attention cry.
it always is.
It always is. He's behind. Well, one of them is behind me again.
They need
Uh,
attention. Which
they
lion
always.
needs?
Lion also wants attention, but not what we think for.
He is literally gone. And Steven's like, "What? Where's my lion?" Ronaldo is convinced it's invisible.
Yes, Ronaldo's like, it's invisible. And like, no, it's pink. And Ronaldo's like, how can it be invisible and pink? Which, that's a good point. You got a point, Ronaldo. How can you give color to something that's invisible?
Yeah, it's a solid point. Consider it's not invisible, it is just gone. I love that Kiki uses the lion pun again.
And then apologize for it, which I was like, girl, don't apologize.
Do solid. And Onion is so mad.
Onion is gonna cut someone. Like, it would not surprise me if their phone line is cut tonight. Because Onion is so mad when people lie to him.
Onion is so upset about this. Like, how could you lie to me about a lion? I got up from my table to come see a lion that's not here.
Yeah, and Steven is realizing that he might be in danger.
Yeah. Also, I love Steven going, I've lost a giant lion on the boardwalk. I should also go find it and show it to Onion quickly.
Yeah, it's like, I need to prove this is real. But Lion just went back to the house and is like destroying a door.
He's destroying it. Also, quick side note, it is a background thing, but I love that you can see it's not there for a second, and then you get the safety and cleaning rating for the restaurant. They're at an A rating.
Oh, I just went back and saw it. You were right. Well, I'm glad they're at an A rating.
Exactly. I
Good
was
job,
checking
Fish Stew Pizza.
claps for them. I was wondering, I was like, is it a C or anything lower? Like, is it a bad rating? Nah, it's just perfectly fine. But it's
I love
gone
that.
for one frame.
Yeah, it's literally just a quick little thing. I see. Yeah, look at that. I love that little thing. But yeah,
Yes.
here's Lion again, destroying a door. And of course, Steven's like, hey, I ate a whole pizza because of you.
You didn't have to eat the pizza. You could have taken it with you, Steven,
Nope.
to go. You could have had that pizza to go. You didn't have to sit there and eat that whole pizza.
Nope, had to eat the whole thing right there.
hmm But then he goes home to Lion trying to break down the door in the temple again. Just, clawing at it, which, I mean, he's still a lion,
He's
so he
still a
has,
lion.
like, actual deep gouging claw marks. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a genuine concern.
Yeah, he destroys the door. He walks in, sees the desert glass, does a supersonic blast with
Uh,
his roar.
Amethyst is also still, the desert glass is still in the pillow fort where Amethyst is pretend sleeping.
Yeah, Amethyst is still out like a light.
Mhm.
And even when she gets blasted, she goes, "Steven, keep it down."
Which girl?
She's
Amethyst.
committed to this.
She is very committed to sleeping.
She's like, "Nah, I'm gonna fake sleep. I'm not dealing with this."
Yeah, which maybe have a little bit more concern about what's going on. Something a cat just broke into your house
And
that
roared.
and roared and had a supersonic roar. What
Like, what
you
kind
should
of
be
cat do you think this is?
you should be a bit more concerned.
You should be way more concerned. That's what Steven's like, "Is this all you wanted? Like, I thought we were best friends, but
Clear
obviously you just wanted this."
you just wanted the pillow. You just wanted the gem.
And all of it was nothing. So Steven is hurt, so he runs outside and he goes, "Fine, here," and throws a desert glass on the one place it shouldn't go.
The sand. Which Steven, I
Steven.
you could have thrown it
Im
anywhere that wasn't sand.
immediate regret.
Yeah, it touches sand and immediately starts building pillars. And he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no."
And, the gems come out and it's like, "Why didn't you bubble it?" And we get Shrug City. "Welcome to Shrug City, P," from
Which
Amethyst.
Amethyst, you menace. You're just a
That's such
menace.
a good line. It's
It
such a good line.
it really is. And also yes, she should have bubbled it. Pearl, you 100% should have checked ahead of time. You This is not the time to be trusting Amethyst to do this.
Yeah, you shoulda known. You
Yeah.
shoulda known.
She gets better later on, but right now, she's not responsible enough to leave alone with this.
Oh, come on. Come
You know.
on.
Yeah.
So, they're like, "Steven, stay still, we'll come for you," and Steven just is like, "Okay," and
And
then
then
is immediately engulfed by a sandstorm.
which the my biggest note this entire time is there must be so much sand just getting into his face. Like sand wind sand in your face just cuts so much that it definitely has to feel bad. It cannot feel good.
I mean, dirt in your face hurts real bad. He is being pelted with sand because it's all brown.
Yeah.
There's, like, a brown coloring to everything, so Steven sees the glass, starts trying to go for it, so starts climbing up because this apparently the desert glass just looked at a lot of Escher paintings. We just start getting, stairways to nowhere and weird architecture.
Yeah. It keeps trying to rebuild its own fortress,
Mhm,
which I deeply want to know more about why it keeps trying to build a fortress and what that fortress is for. What is this? Why does
mhm.
it exist?
Right, like, what gem is it, and what purpose did it have to do this?
Exactly. Also, this gem is embedded into a pillow and not like a human pillow. This is something gems made. And we know gems can be put into items, but what purpose would it have for being in a pillow? That's
Purpose
just
to
for
have, or
looks.
was it like Lapis where it got trapped in a pillow, where, it got imprisoned in there for some reason?
True. But I feel like
Like
it is supposed to be there. Like it's supposed to be in the pillow. I don't know if either someone put it in there as imprisonment during the war, or that's just a thing that's supposed to exist. Like the homeworld gems have a temple just to look at this one gemstone.
mhm. That is a great question. I'm not quite sure, like, I really wanna know more. I was scouring the Wikipedia, the Stephen Wiki, and it didn't really have anything about it. Because I don't think I mean, we see the temple again in the episode with Buddy,
Hmm.
but other than that, like, we never see it again.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's because I was double checking if maybe the real gem had any kind of like significance, but desert glass is a real type of gemstone that can only be found in the Sahara, which is where the temple is.
Mhm,
So, and it is a gem made from like meteorites, like it's a compressed sort of meteorite into glass. So maybe it's genuinely in a pillow because it's a special type of gem and they just like looking at it because they can't be made like organically. They can't grow. You can't make them. They can only be made by like compressing meteorites into this weird kind of glass that's made from different types of gems, like zircons, quartz, metal, and then it makes a little crater. And
maybe.
like, hey, maybe it's just a cool,
Ooh,
fancy glass. fancy gem.
That I mean, that would be super interesting if they also just sometimes make things or choose things
Yeah.
just to look at as well.
Just things that they think are pretty but are definitely still sentient. So you don't get to have a physical form, but you can
Yeah.
sit on this pillow and be pretty in front of other people, which horrifying thought.
I mean, I would also wanna build a temple to protect myself from that.
Yeah. Hide from just being looked at, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because it looks like I mean, the original Temple Grant, we only saw it from far away, but it looks like it was probably covered, and it's trying to do it again, so you can kind of assume that it's, like, being protecting itself, so covering itself so people, A, can't get to it, and B, can't, like, look at it?
I guess. Yeah. So it might have just had a terrible because if it was from Homeworld, then might have just been like, hey, I was literally an ornament. I'm embedded into a pillow and made to look pretty and nothing else. I am just going to encase myself in this fortress and please leave me alone.
Mhm.
Or maybe the fortress is there so that people
So
can go to a place to look at it.
maybe, and it's kind of been warped and corrupted.
Yeah. Because it
I
doesn't
just wanna know more.
yeah, I'm curious. I'm like, what's this about? What's going on with this gem?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Same here. But they do, just Steven is running through trying to get out, and the gems are trying to fight. And I don't know what's so funny to me about Garnet just punching a wall of sand and nothing happening. But that, I genuinely had to pause the episode because I couldn't stop laughing.
I was laughing because it's a single wall, like, it's not a massive wall, so I'm like, "Just run around it, guys.
They could just walk right around it, and instead,
Just go just go
Garnet's like,
around
gotta
it."
punching it immediately.
Right, and then they all get caught up, Amethyst is thrown up into the air and caught into a whirlwind, and the other 2 are caught in, like, the sandstorm tornado, so that just leaves Steven on the craziest American Ninja course.
Truly a nightmare. Walls keep, crumbling, others keep shooting out of the temple. The temple like gives he Steven is falling off of a ledge. The temple grows a little thing for him to hold on to, and then that breaks.
And then goes, "LOL, no."
Exactly, I will know.
That also made me laugh, but he doesn't fall because who saves him?
Lion!
Lion is here to save the day and really quickly, jumps and saves him, and Steven's like, "Hey, we gotta get that. Like, you were trying to protect us, you weren't trying to take it. So we need to get it. And how are we gonna do it?" I'm like, "Steven, this lion legit just like jumped a crazy distance to nab you. I think you saw he has supersonic powers. I think he's capable of getting you up there."
Yes. Also, side note, when Steven says, Lion, you came to save me, you are protecting us from the gem. I'm 100% certain Lion said, well, duh, in cat. Of
Right. Oh no, Lion was like,
course I came here.
boy. Boy.
She's very much tired of this.
I try to stop you from doing that. I try to stop you from doing that. And Lion very quickly, gets Steven up there and gets the pillow and all the sand comes down
Yeah, he's got, supersonic roars that immediately collapse the spikes that were going to kill Steven and the towers that grow out of nowhere. They get the pillow, they get out of the sandstorm, and also keep the pillow from sand. It can't touch sand anymore.
again.
Please. Again.
And so Pearl's like, we should bubbles it and gets it out there, like, we should have done that. And then Amethyst has another line that I use quite often is in my defense, I forgot.
Exactly. Which also I know they keep treating it like Pearl nagging as usual, but she's 100% right. They should have done this immediately.
100%. They should have gotten back and Pearl should have just done it.
Honestly, they should have bubbled it while they were there, which is what Pearl said. Was like, bubble this, just bubble it. And Amethyst was like, nah, I don't wanna. And then all of this happened, and Pearl is 100% correct in going, we should have just bubbled this immediately. Why did we
Sh
wait?
just bubbled it. So Lion is like, "Hey, I'm gonna keep this lion." Steven's like, "I'm keeping this lion. It's my best friend. He's staying."
Which let this boy have a pet. I guess a lion is fine.
Fine. But Pearl's like, "Oh, great. Like, we're keeping this lion, I guess." And Garnet's got some jokes.
We kept Amethyst, which
"We kept Amethyst," which cracks Pearl up.
I know. Amethyst is in the background looking annoyed.
Is not funny, it's funny, but that I mean, that gives us a clue at this point that obviously Amethyst came after.
Yes. And also, given what we find out later, Amethyst was definitely a feral tiny child who crawled around like an animal.
Oh, yes. feral thing that they did in fact keep.
Exactly. I go, no, this was right. Garnet 100% made the right call. You kept this feral child.
So yeah, Steven's really excited that Lion gets to stay, and I think Lion has some regrets.
Lion, it's peak cat behavior of just going, I'm happy to be here and getting food and cuddles, but I have to trade that for being touched.
All the time.
Exactly, all the time, which,
We get the star wipe on Lion kind of looking out, being like, "Oh."
oh no, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into?
But that's the episode.
That is the episode. I love it. I also have some additional things I wanted to talk about that are not
Yeah.
on the wiki, but are things that were going on at the time
Okay.
when this episode aired. So, when this episode aired, obviously we didn't have the information we do now about Steven Universe. The amount of people who were convinced that this was Rose
Oh,
or that Lion was a gem are innumerable. There were people who were definitely in the Lion actually is Rose, and that's why they came here. That's why Rose is back. That's why the Lion came to protect Steven, is because it's actually Rose, which truly confused me because the gemstone thing does not make sense. How is it Rose if Steven still has a gem?
good point. Good point.
That theory never made sense, but cool. And then the other theories were the largest one is Rose or Lion is a pearl. That Lion was a corrupted pearl, specifically Rose's or Pink Diamond's pearl, like later on in the series when we get more and more information about Rose. That Rose had a pearl or a pink pearl, or this is Pink Diamond's pearl, and that is what Lion is. And just the main, there was so many theories that the main was
Main.
covering the gemstone, and that if you just uncovered it, you'd find a gem in there, and that this was a corrupted gem who just didn't look as monstrous and instead looked like a lion. That was the prevailing theory for so long.
Interesting.
Lion is it was a pearl. It was a rose quartz. This is what happens to rose quartz when they get corrupted. This is what happens to pearls when they get corrupted. And one of the other theories was this is Pink Diamond who got corrupted and or shattered, and this is a shard of Pink Diamond's gemstone.
Oh,
So many theories. There were so many floating around at the time of just what could lion be? Not a regular lion, but just
never just a lion. It was
some form of a gem. I think not until we get 100% confirmation with Lars did that theory go away.
wow.
That theory persisted for a while. Even as we got more and more information, it was just like, what's lion? Where did lion come from? We need more information about lion. Must be a gem. And it's not until 100% confirmation when we see the same thing happen to Lars that we go, oh no, just a lion. Just a regular lion.
Wow. Okay.
But that was one of the biggest theories at the time. People would not stop talking about how this is definitely some kind of corrupted gem or just a gem in hiding.
I kind of like that theory.
It was fun. It was a very fun one. I personally loved the this is what happens to quartz gems. That this is what corrupted quartz gems look like, are lions. And I was like, that's actually super fun if this is what they look like. Everyone else gets a monster form, but quartz gems turn into cute pink lions.
Cute pink lions. That's very interesting.
And also, before we knew that like rose quartz was a special kind of gem, everyone was just under the impression that quartzes were just a standard type of soldier, and this is what happens to them when they get corrupted or are shapeshifting. It was always a thing between corruption or a shapeshifted gem who's just choosing to stay like this.
I could get the shape shifting thing just because we know Amethyst can take animal forms
Yeah.
and whatnot. So the shape shifting thing actually kind of makes a little sense because we just have a massive mane and you
hmm
don't know where. I mean, you never see it. Well, I guess you kind of see some, but like, it could make sense if it's like on his chest where the mane's at.
Exactly. That was, I think, some of the biggest theories was lion is some kind of gem, and I loved that at the time. It was very fun to speculate with Steven Universe when we had no information of just who's Rose Quartz? What kind of gem is Rose Quartz? I mean, well, not that, but like what class of gem is
Yeah.
Rose? Because we know for Pearl that even before we get to like know how homeworld classes work, we know that Pearl was some kind of at least fancy gem. And again, before everyone found out Garnet was a fusion, it's like, well, I guess Garnet's a military type? Unclear. Maybe a general? Which,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Garnets are
Yeah.
generals in the military.
Yeah.
Just not this Garnet.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, when I first met Lion, I don't really think I got that deep into it. I was just kind of like, "Oh my God, there's an adorable pink lion. I'm not going to question this. I'm just going to love it."
Yes. I mean, again, we had 3 weeks after this episode, so it's a
Right.
lot of time for speculating.
I mean, I mean, there's still a long time between, when you actually find out, but I was just kinda like, that she's just an adorable lion. That's where I was at. I was like, "Why is it pink?" And my friend's like, I can't answer that." And I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna question it anymore, I guess."
I guess it just is.
I mean, I kind of assumed it had something to do with Rose just because, there's the pink motif
Yes.
with Rose and everything, which I cannot wait till we get our Rose episode. Because do I have some lore for you, Claudes.
Odds, there's so much lore.
We're going to get real deep into Ishtar.
We listen, I have my DMs have links for next time when we get into it.
A lot of Sumerian information.
It's just handed over to me. Just hanging out in my Discord.
It's waiting there for you.
This episode was fun. I love this episode.
We're really truly hitting just peak. I really just believe like the peak, like deep stuff of season 1 because it is like I mean, not that I mean, I don't want to say I think slog through is a really poor way to put it, but like yeah, the first couple episodes it's just trying to deliver a lot of information really fast.
Yeah, the show kind of comes out of the door swinging with it's like, hey, we have a lot of information we need to get to you quickly to explain what's happening.
I mean, we're going to start getting into some good ones.
We are soon getting to some really fun episodes. Some of my, faves. I love Arcade Mania.
Yeah, the next episode's Arcade Mania, which you find out yeah, oh man, such a good one. I mean, I love Giant Woman.
Giant Woman's a good one. Rose's Room, which is a little bit further.
Rose's Rim. Oh, Lion 2. I mean, I love anything you get a lion movie.
Lion, I do love.
Like, oh man, I'm just looking through what's coming up, and there are some good ones coming up.
There are some good ones. There are also some iconic, not Steven Universe, but sort of the required trope for like every country has its tropes in television, and then America has specific tropes for children's shows. So many birthdays, and Steven and the Stevens are two consistent American tropes that you will have in every US kid show that I
Mhm.
find horrific and also incredibly interesting. You'll have your, hey, time isn't real and you will have way too many birthdays or negative birthdays. Something about time is going to get weird where you will rapidly age and then de-age and you have to confront your mortality. That is,
Mhm.
every kid show has one of those. And every kid show also has one episode where cloning, we're going to clone and the clones are going to get worse and worse the more iterations you make of them. And then you will have to watch your own self horrifically die to get rid of those clones.
Yeah,
Just sort of it's weird how many of those happen in kids show where I go, okay, so these are the American
there's a
tropes.
lot of them. And
Hmm.
this is kind of off topic because I'm looking at the episodes right now.
Hmm.
Have you ever put a thought in maybe it's something for us to cover in a later episode? The title card colors.
You're right.
Because looking at all the title cards, they're different. Not most of them are the same, but there are a few, for example, Laser Light Cannon, Together Breakfast, Arcade Mania, are all this like orangey pink color.
Yeah, and I wonder if
Tiger
that means
Millionaire is blue.
and then Rose's room is a solid pink.
Rose's Gym Solid Pink, Sword Fighter. Steven the Sword Fighter is very, I would say,
Like,
pearl coloring.
yeah, I was gonna say like a tealish kind of like a blue green.
Yes, Coach Steven is blue. And
Hmm.
then the rest of all, I mean, minus Ocean Gym is also a little bit off colored.
Yeah, I'd have to. I'm
I
gonna
think that
rewatch all of these episodes.
I think these are. I think we might have to. I think we've discovered something
We figured something out.
while looking at episodes that are coming up. So I think that's something we're gonna have to cover maybe next time because it's a color change. So let's put a pin in that. We'll maybe do some research
Yes,
and see what we can come up with.
but yeah, that is genuinely interesting. I did not realize that they were all different colors.
So maybe let's put a pin in that, and maybe we can figure something out for next time. See what people say. But I think that's gonna wrap us up.
I think so too. I That is the end of our episode. Thank you all for listening. We love you so much. Thank you for listening, quite genuinely. Happy to have you all here.
If you want to reach out to us, please subscribe, give us 5 stars on Google Play. You can leave us a fun review there. Please be nice. I cry easily. can also give us 5 stars on Spotify. We're still not an Apple podcast at this point, I believe.
Apple won't let me make an account. It just says you're not eligible for one and won't tell me why.
That's rude. We'll look into that. But you can also reach us. You can email us at crystalthemspodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on, I refuse to call it the new name, Twitter at crystalthemspod. And we have an Instagram with some really cool cosplay photos, especially stuff from C2E2. I was at C2E2 and I met some really cool cosplayers that I tossed photos up there. Really nice Steven and a really beautiful rose quartz. Speaking of rose quartz. So you should definitely check that out. And then our Instagram is the Crystal Thems Podcast. So, like us on there, follow us on there, say heyo. I will say hello back.
No, also, quick note, the intro and outro music is The Fey Mild by Arcane Anthems. Please check out their Patreon for more music.
Has some great stuff on there. I highly, highly suggest it.
Genuinely, go listen to all of their music.
And the last thing you should remember is that you're one of us clods. We wouldn't be the Crystal Thems without you. And we'll catch you on the flip side.